Um, so, with all the craziness that's constantly happening in the world, it's very difficult for us to sometimes just maintain our stable ground where we have the ability to take in the news, whether it's close to at home or far away. How do you process? How do you filter some of the intensity that is constantly coming? And stay stable so that you can have the capacity to be in service in the world in the way that you want to be. So a lot of times when we get overwhelmed, we can freeze, we can run away. We can get angry. There can be all sorts of reactions to difficult news that sometimes we need to just stand back for a moment and get ourselves stable so that we can work through our lives and move into a state of being out there in service as best as we can. So I'm hoping today will be a very stable practice. I'm hoping every time you step on your mat, it's a practice of stability for you, that you gain both freedom and stability, presence in your practice. No matter what the poses are, the capacity is there. So let's remember that the greatest tool we have is our breath. So let's start by grounding. Okay, so in the sutras, one of the sutra is called Stira, Sukha, Asanam. And basically it just means that our postures, our stance, should be steadfast, stable, but also sweet and at ease. That this is what we're looking for, that we can not run away, that we can not hide, that we can stand our ground, and also have flow, movement through us, the ability to release and not hold so much, the ability to find ease. And if we can find the magic balance between these forces, then we can really be of service. We can show up in the best way possible. So let's ground ourselves here. Drop your awareness down into your pelvis. See if you can notice where you're sitting. Are you at ease in the way that your pelvis is grounding on whatever support you're sitting on? Can you let your femur bones settle a bit more toward the earth? Can you imagine that your pelvic bowl is this broad ocean that connects you with the earth below you? That you take up way more space than your actual physical body, but that you can melt and expand like roots expand as far out as the branches of a tree. And when you feel that sense of groundedness, come into the torso now and find freedom. So lift up your spine if you're slumpy, open up your heart if you're collapsed. Support yourself with your musculature just enough, not so much where your core is locked hard or your back body is locked hard, but that there's a sense of stability. And then bring your breath, infuse your breath into the stable scaffolding of your frame. Let your breath help you to infuse a sense of ease. On the exhale, we can relax something. So the breath is this beautiful alchemy of both stability and ease, that it brings both to us. So let's practice paying attention to the breath, observing the in and the out, slight pause. What in your body is tense? Can you relax something a bit more? And when you're ready, place the palms together at your heart and offer an intention for your practice. Feel the steadiness of the mind connecting with the hands, connecting with the heart. Places of thinking, feeling, and doing, joining together. Place an intention in all three aspects of yourself. And let's let the hands go and find your way onto your mat. Right, so breathing deeply. As you come down, let's take a moment to rejoin with the breath, to refocus on how the breath feels in your body. And just lie down and just rest for a moment. Let all the tension go. Become loose and free, melting into the bones, letting them drop to the earth. So a mini Shavasana before we begin moving. As you're melting, come in to feel your breath. So enjoy the way the breath moves through you. All right, then reach your arms up overhead and let's begin to lengthen and stretch. So maybe stretch your left side a little longer, stretch your right side a little longer, and just enjoy the opening through your side bodies, your pelvis. All right, then bring your knees into your chest and let's rock a little bit from side to side, swaying through your body. Stay inside the breath. Just really try to keep the breath as a primary focus of your practice. It requires a little discipline, a little awareness, even a little patience to stay with the breath. All right, let's circle the knees, kind of circle them one direction. Feel into the sacrum, the sacroiliac joints. And circle the knees the opposite direction. Let's open the knees up away from the midline and bring them back in. So just find the range of motion that's available. Let's go ahead and bring the right knee into the chest. Left leg comes long on the floor. And just feel into that compression in the hip and knee. Move your feet around, wake up the ankles, the soles of the feet, the toes, just feel some movement. Say hello. You know, when we have new sensation like a stretch or a movement, we get a little glimpse, a little capacity to be present in that part of our body. So enjoy your feet. And then change sides. Left leg drawing in, right leg long. Feel the movement of your feet again. If you've got any, tight spots that are a little vulnerable, spend a little extra time warming those places up, however you feel best. All right, so stretch your limbs out, arms out wide, legs out wide, wiggle your fingers and toes, touch to the edges of you. Exhale and draw your knees in, bring your head up, give a good squeeze. Twice more, open your body out. Star on the ground, exhale, and draw your body in, tuck to a little ball. One more time, expanding outward, exhale, drawing inward. All right, we're gonna put our head down, put your feet down, and we're just gonna work with the center body a little bit here. Our transverse abdominis, it's a very stabilizing muscle in our body. So we're just going to wake up the hips and the belly just a little bit here. So this is unusual, so just bear with me. We're going to lift the right hip as if you're going to a bridge, and then lift the left hip, and then drop the right hip, and then drop the left hip. So doing a little pelvic circle, not really a circle, but a pelvic roll. We're going to go both directions, but just take a few rounds of right hip up, followed by left, right hip down, followed by left. Okay, and you can go as high as your body really is calling for. And pause at the bottom for a moment. Just feel your body rest on the ground, and notice if you forgot to breathe that whole time. All right, so let's stay with the breath. Lift the left hip, and then lift the right, dropping the left, dropping the right. Make sure you're breathing. You only go as high as your body says go. Notice if you have a pattern that feels more comfortable on one side versus the other. If you have any hesitancy or choppiness in the movement on one side or the other. Rest again. Everything coming down onto the ground. All right, teacups. Drop your right knee down into the right hip. Ground your both feet. Okay, feet hip width apart. We're going to stabilize that femur bone in the right hip socket. Open up the left knee out to the side. Inhale and bring that knee up and change sides. Ground your left foot. Ground your left femur bone into the hip joint and open up the right side. So just going back and forth between our two sides. Make sure you're breathing. This will wake up the deep transverse abdominis muscle in your core, as well as some other muscles too. And just notice if you have one side of your body that's a little bit more grounded, a little bit more aware, a little bit stronger. Do you have the same feeling left and right or different? So it's really important to ground. I call it teacups because imagine the grounded leg. You want to put a teacup on your knee and don't let it spill. And then switch the teacup to the other side. And you can go as slow as you want. I wouldn't go super fast, but just modulate your pace according to the ability to stay grounded and aware of what's working. Notice if your breath is being held. See if you can stay inside the breath. And relax. Knees up, feet down. Just breathe for a moment. And then when you're ready, grab a block and stick it between your thighs, whatever width and wherever you want, in between your legs. And we're just going to have a gentle squeeze of the block and then a release. Gentle squeeze of the block and then a release. So notice your upper body. See if you can keep the weight of your head and your shoulders soft and easy. So we don't have to grip our whole body to do this. Just turn on the inner thigh muscles a bit, the pelvic floor a bit. Let the pelvic floor kind of shine a light up through the abdomen so that our pelvic floor, the bottom of our container, if our torso is a container, we're getting used to engaging all parts of the container. All right, now keep the block there, and we're going to lift up into a bridge. And like I said, you can have the block anywhere you want and any width that feels good. Rise up, coming to a full bridge now. Ground through your feet. Root big toes, inner heels. Root pinky toes and outer heels. So find your breath.
Make sure that you're able to maintain breathing no matter what you're doing. It's the most important thing that you're doing. Right. Let's go ahead and relax your pelvis back down onto the ground. Okay. Take the block out and grab a strap. I promise we're going to actually get up and do some yoga postures in a moment. And grab a strap and strap it around your thighs. So you want it to be snug around. And if you don't have a strap, it's okay. I'm going to give you a plan B in just a sec. So we're going to have our feet hip width apart. You can do this in 3 different patterns. We've done this before where you have your feet together, then feet hip width apart, and then feet wider. For today, we're just going to do feet hip width apart. All right, so the strap is around our thighs. We're going to ground our big toes. Take a deep breath, and on the exhale, engage your core and then isometrically press against the strap. If you don't have a strap, you can use your hands and press against your hands. Okay, so just feel the outer hips start to engage. I have my front door open and there's chimes out there, so if the noise gets annoying, just somebody give me a shout out that the chimes are annoying and I'll shut the door. Okay, so we are doing the same kind of pulsing thing where we're pressing into the strap, grounding the big toes, and then releasing and melting back to a neutral place. So we're just trying to kind of go around the block in our pelvis here, where we're just accessing all different musculature to help us stabilize our hips. Now, when we do this, notice if you hold your breath, notice, what tries to work instead, like maybe your throat or your neck. All right, and then hold the posture, hold the pressure against the strap, ground the big toes, keep breathing, melt the base of the skull. And now relax. Take the strap off. Starfish your body out. Take a deep breath. Exhale, knees into your chest. Chin comes up. All right, let's go ahead and roll over onto our side and come up onto your hands and your knees. All right, let's start moving through some cat-cows. Arching and rounding the spine. So you might notice that your back might feel like it took some of the energy of those postures. Remember, the transverse abdominis travels around the back of your body. It's the corset muscle that wraps around your whole torso, deep, right on top of your organs. So we want to let things be free, let the spine free up. And then feel free to move your body around. So you can wag your tail. You can move your pelvis in some circles. Maybe the shoulders too. Maybe you want to move your head around. Breathing deep. All right, and then let's stretch back towards child's pose. Just go where your body goes. Don't worry if you don't come all the way down. Just go where your body is comfortable. Relax your head. Stretch out through your arms. Let's walk the hands over to one side or the other. So we're opening up the side body. The base of the skull is nice and soft. So remember that Stira, steadiness, Sukha, sweetness, Asana, Asana is poses. So the sweetness and steadiness of our postures. Okay. So what's sweet about each change you make? Go ahead and change to the other side. What's steady? Can the breath be steady? Can the breath be sweet? All right, and then come back up onto all fours. Move the spine about again. Let's find a twist when you're ready. Left arm lifting up to the sky. Exhale and slide that shoulder under. And enjoy a twist. Breathe into it. Melt the base of the skull. Open up the rib cage a bit.
And then inhale, reaching that arm all the way back up. Place the hand down onto the ground and switch sides. Right arm lifting. Exhale. Bring that arm underneath you. Shoulders away from the ears. Full inhales and full exhales. Breath is our steadiness. See if you can stay connected to the rhythm, to the pace, to the texture, all of the breath. Inhale, lift that arm all the way back up. Place the hand down onto the ground and find your way to dog pose. All right, so let's open up into a dog. Feel free to pedal your feet. You can drop one heel, drop the other heel, bending knee to see what feels good to you. Remember to breathe. Enjoy what's here. See if you can melt the skull, relax a bit. Root into the index finger mounds. Feel the grounding through the thumbs. Feel the heart lift toward the pelvis. Spread out the bones of the feet a whole lot. Feel the femur bones lift, just like we did the teacups. Lift the femur bones up into the hips and back. If your hips need a little extra space, maybe try taking your feet a little wider apart or turning your toes slightly in. Just kind of come into a place that feels free in your body. Melt the head. And then walk your feet forward and come into Uttanasana Fold. Okay, shake your hips. Go ahead and relax. See what it feels like to have some ease. Relax the shoulders. Wag the tail, bend the knees, wobble the head. Inhale for a halfway lift. The spine is getting longer. Straighten your legs. And exhale and fold again. Drop your seat. So bend your knees a lot. Lift your chest and rise on up. Okay. Finding the breath. Reaching the arms up to the sky. Open the heart. Cactus, open the chest if it feels nice. Squeeze the back body a little bit. Get that awake and alive. And then arms up. Let's repeat like you're pulling a bar down. That's, or trying to pull yourself up on a chin-up bar. Just feel the back body wake up a little bit. All right, arms up. Reaching to the sky. Lean back. And then exhale. And fold forward. Relax your head. Inhale for a halfway lift. Spine gets longer. You can always use blocks if you like that. Spread open the bones of your feet. Let them wake up. And then exhale and melt again. Step your left foot back. Right foot comes forward to a lunge. Enjoy the open heart. You can always put your knee down. You can always put your hands higher or lower, whatever feels right for your body. Crown to tail to heel in the air. Find your breath. Begin to move here. So straightening the front leg and then bending. And you don't have to go all the way straight and you don't have to go all the way bent. Just go in the range of motion that's available for you. Stay with the breath. All right, and then come into the steadiness here. So ground yourself, yield. Feel that you give to the earth. And then rebound, push off the earth just a little bit. Feel the front heel engage on the ground. When you feel ready, rise up to crescent lunge. Now remember, always, you can modify all your postures every day for what's needed today. Okay, so you can have your arms up or any other place that you choose. What is giving you stability? What is giving you ease? Let these be the overarching goals of your practice instead of clicking off this pose, that pose, that pose. It's the embodiment, the breath, the yielding, the grounding, the sense of freedom. These are what we're looking for. So search them out in the postures. All right, and release the hands down. Back foot comes forward, fold, relax your neck. Inhale for a halfway lift. Spine is long. Exhale and fold again. Step your other foot back. So now our left foot is forward, our right foot is back. Coming into a lunge. Just hang out here for a moment till you feel that, oh yeah, I can feel my legs ground into the earth. I can feel my spine get a little longer. And as you're ready, let's go ahead and start to move. There's no rush and there's no expectations of where you're supposed to get to with your range of motion. Be where you are. How is the breath? Stay in the breath. Ground yourself, feel your roots, come into a lunge again. Send some energy down into the earth and receive, push off the earth. When you feel steady, rise up. Anything you want with your upper body, any amount of depth with your legs. Find core support. So we're not leaning into the low back, we're finding that stability. Imagine you still had that block between your thighs. Find your breath. Start to wake up some energy in your legs, some grounding, some yielding. And we're going to bring our hands down back to dog pose and stretch and lengthen through your spine here. You can bend your knees as much as you need. Ground through the hands well. Feel the sense of yield and push. And then reach. So we're yielding into the earth, then pushing off the earth and reaching through our body. Melt the skull, relax all the muscles and skin on your face. Let the skin kind of fall from the bones. Full breaths. Come forward into a plank. Hold yourself steady. Integrate into the center of your body. So a very stabilizing pose here. Do you feel stable? Shoulders away from the ears. Feel the shoulder blades on the back. Hug your hands a bit toward each other. Widen your collarbones. Let your inner thighs lift toward the sky. Feel your core. That 360 wrapping around your torso. All right, great. And then come lie down on the ground. You can put your knees down first if that's better for your shoulders. Do some rolls with your shoulders. Feel the shoulder blades slide around on the back. And then lift up, Cobra pose. Shoulders down, elbows stay a little bent. Exhale and melt. Stretch through your legs, rise up. A little bit of core. And release. And melt again. Take a version that feels nice. Maybe you want your hands a little wider. And then melt and fold. Put your hands underneath your forehead for a moment. Breathe here. Let your body make contact with the ground. Then come back up onto all fours and move the spine about. Left leg straight out behind you, right arm straight out in front of you. Find your breath, integrate into the core. Remember all that work we did in the beginning of class? Activate your center body now. And then let's bring our arm and leg out to the side. Toes facing the floor. Integrate through the core of your body. Stay inside your breath. All right, come back. Place that hand and knee down onto the ground and change sides. Let's stretch that leg out, arm coming out in front of you. Feel the integration. Now, one of the things to always think about in this pose when we're doing such oppositional work, it's a really easy place to figure out, oh, I'm a lot more stable and strong on one side versus the other. So if you notice that, that's really good information. Let's go ahead and take the leg out to the side, arm out to the side, toes pointing down, thumb pointing up. There's a lot of integration into the core here. Keep the neck easy. Breathe well. All right, come back, line things up, place the hand down, child's pose. Steady your hips back toward the heels. Find your breath. Breathing deeply. When you're ready, rise up to dog pose. Lengthen through your spine. Deep breath in and away. All right, so enjoy this posture. Can you feel the yielding? Okay, and then when you're ready, pull your feet apart from each other. Activate those outer hips. Get them alive and well. All right, and then relax. Walk 2 feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. Fold deeply. Inhale for a halfway lift. Melt again. Drop your seat. Rise up. If you like blocks, stick a block between your thighs for chair pose. Okay, so remember your chair can be, not very deep. Your chair can also be supported with the edge of a wall or a piece of furniture. So there's lots of ways of helping yourself in this pose if hips or knees are troublesome. Okay, so find your way. You do not have to use the block. I like using the block sometimes, especially when I'm trying to work with that sense of pelvic stability. It helps me turn on my inner thighs, my pelvic floor a little bit more. All right, so stretch the arms. And remember, arms can be anywhere you want them to be. They do not have to be up overhead. They can be in lots of different planes. Deep inhales. Long, steady exhales. And then we're going to come out of the pose up onto your tippy toes. Stretch your arms up in the air if it's comfortable. And place your feet down onto the ground. Pause here. Take the block out for a moment. Find your breath. All right, now we're going to do this. We're going to repeat a chair pose. And if you want to bring the block back, you can. Otherwise, maybe try without a block. We're going to go lower. So we're going to drop our hips and we're going to lower our chest down. We're not going to lay on our thighs, but we're going to be pretty low. Take your hands to the outside of the knees and then press into the outside of the knees and press your knees into your hands into your knees. Ground the big toe and inner heel. Find the length of your spine. Full breaths. All right, rise all the way up. Deep breath. We're going to take our feet wide apart, so turn sideways on the mat. Legs are wide and broad. Turn your right foot out. Inhale, arms coming up to the sky. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Now, you can move. So rise up, straight legs, arms up on the inhale. Exhale to come into the pose. If you feel unstable in standing poses because of your knee, try supporting, or even because of your hip, try supporting your knee against a block, against a wall or a piece of furniture so that you have a grounding sense of stability instead of hanging in space. If you feel unstable in standing poses, it's a nice subtle thing to try. When you're ready, Vera 2. All right, just stay here now. Shoulders soft, gaze out over your fingertips if you can. Remember, this pose is all about creating a grounding force, deep stability. Feel your legs, ground them like deep roots, spread your roots. How's the ease? Where is it living? Can you relax the shoulders, soften the base of the skull? Ground through your legs. All right, rise up, reaching the arm, reverse that warrior. And then as you're ready, and you can always take a break, you can always straighten your leg for a moment and then come back and come into Parsvakonasana. Yeah, what do you love about the pose? Can you feel the stability, the grounding, let your legs yield, rebound through your body? Find the breath. Where is ease? Where is stability? Where is freedom? Where is breath? right, let's come back up. Turn your feet straight, wide. Find a breath here before we do the other side. Same two poses. Turn your right foot in and your left foot out now. So, like I said, if you want to have, and if you have long feet, just take the block this width. Okay, so I like it just below my kneecap if you're going to try that. Foam blocks obviously are a little easier than wood blocks, but it's a nice way of supporting yourself in the pose if you need it. Okay, let's first just have some movement up and then down. Once more. If you'd like to use that prop, feel into the work that happens. Drop into your legs. Feel the yielding. Feel the rebounds, push off, yield, push, and then reach. Reach your heart to your hands, reach your crown and tail. Relax the shoulders. The legs are open and grounded. Now reverse your warrior when you're ready. Open up the side of the body. And then Uttanasana or Konasana when you are ready. So open up those hips, ground through the four corners of both feet, work with the muscles in the back of the pelvis, lengthen through your side bodies, soften the shoulders, yield, push, and reach. Discover the breath over and over. The back of the head is soft. Come up wide again. Take the hands onto blocks or onto floor, whichever feels good for your body. Feet are pointing straight, wide legs. Relax and melt. Deep breaths here. All right, heel toe your feet a little further in. We're going to come into a squat. So you get to decide how wide you want your legs, how low you want to go. Okay, so try to take, if it's comfortable, take a higher squat so our hips, we're not dropping down into malasana. Okay, so, or a garland pose rather. We're staying high so the hips and the knees are maybe in line with each other. Maybe your hips are higher. Elbows can be on top of the knees or inside the knees. Spread open the bones of your feet and your hands. Long spine, stability, ground, yield, find freedom somewhere. And slowly rise up, reach out to a star, turn back to the front of your mat for dog pose. Walk your feet back, enjoy the breath. Deep inhale and exhale. Let's come forward into a plank. Ground yourself, hold yourself steady. Breathing deep. Feel that center line. Now we're going to turn our hips to the right. And then turn our hips to the left. Then come back to center. Put your knees down onto the ground and find the earth. Roll the shoulders up to Cobra. Breathe, exhale, and melt. Come to your right side, lying down. Reconnect with your breath for a moment. Make sure it's here with you. Straight legs. All right, let's lift that hand straight up in the air. Feel that you're on a long, skinny line, balance beam. We're going to lift the leg off the leg. So both legs are straight. Left leg lifts. Press your right leg into the ground. Engage your side waists. Lift that leg in the air. Relax the base of the skull.
Stay inside the breath. Try not to lean forward or back. Stay on that line, shoulder over shoulder, hip over hip. Okay. Exhale and relax. Let's go ahead and switch, coming to the other side. Find your breath. All right, so stabilize yourself. And once you're ready, you can lift your arm. Now, if you feel like you can't be stable, you can always keep your hand down instead of the arm up in the air. Your choice. Press your left leg into the earth as much as the right leg is lifting. Engage your core. Stack shoulder over shoulder, hip over hip. Relax the base of the skull. Turn your toes forward instead of up toward the sky. Feel the outer hips work. Breathing deep. Exhale and relax. Come onto your back. One more time into a bridge. Lift your pelvis, rock onto the tops of the shoulders, ground four corners of feet. Open the chest. Feel that you're working all the muscles around your legs, so hug muscles to bone. Neck is soft. Fill up your breath. Round the four corners of your feet. All right, and then let's go ahead and relax. Melt onto the floor for a moment. Windshield wiper your knees left and right. Breathing well. We roll over onto our side and come up to stand. Perhaps you want to move through dog pose and walk forward. However you want to get upright is great. We're going to find our way to standing up. Take your legs wide apart once you're up here. Just enjoy your wide base of support. Remember always, if you get dizzy standing up, just bring yourself to the midline. You can cross one thigh over the other. Squeeze your legs, squeeze your arms. So if you have blood pressure, low blood pressure, and you get a little dizzy on the way up, always remember that. Grab a block. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. So we're going to start this in triangle pose first before we go into half moon. Dip the pelvis. So we're tipping. Okay, hand can be on your leg or on the block. Open your body up, shoulders away from the ears. Grounding, four corners of both feet. Feel your yielding. Feel the push off the earth. Lengthen through your spine. Turn and open the chest. Shoulders are soft, neck is soft. And then from here, we're going to bend your knee. I'm going to move back a little bit because I always run out of room in my house. Okay, so look at your foot and make sure it doesn't move. We want it to point straight, not turned in or out. If you need a little extra balance, take the block to the pinky toe side more of your foot. We're gonna have the block underneath the shoulder when we come into this pose. Lift up into Ardha Chandrasana. Be very mindful to not lock out your knee that you're standing on. Have a little micro bend in there. Engage your core, lift the outer hip into full support. Crown to tail, the heel in the air. Spread open across your chest. Remember to breathe. Okay, I'm going to take a giant step back and come out of the pose. Nice. Pause for a moment. Gather your ground. And then when you're ready, we're going to find the second side. Okay. So legs are wide, find triangle pose first. Find your breath. See what feels comfortable for your body as far as depth of the pose goes. Depth is not always better. You can be up here and the pose can be so free instead of all the way down here where you get a little locked up. So find freedom balancing with your stability. Round into your legs. Be very mindful of your front leg. If you are a hyperextender, pay attention to that. Have a little micro bend in your knee and ground through the big toe mound. Feel the shaft of your femur bone lift into the pelvis. Open across your chest. Long spine. All right. When you're ready, you can come onto that right foot. I'm gonna move my foot back. Toes are pointing to the front edge of your mat, so we're not losing our stability. You can take your hand on the block a little out to the pinky toe side, open your chest. Of course, you can do this against a wall, or you can put your foot on a piece of furniture, however you need support. So unlock your standing knee. Open the pelvis, open the chest, lift the legs strongly, engage your side waist, lengthen crown to foot in the air, relax the base of the skull, stay inside your breath. Giant step back to come out of the pose. Stand in Tanasana. Pause here for a moment. Just get comfortable with that grounding sense that our body has when we're feeling the earth. So give yourself an opportunity to yield here. Reach your weight into the earth. Feel a rebound, drink up the earth. Feel that connection. Notice how the breath can regulate your energy. The breath can regulate the mind. And certainly can help you feel stable and free. Rise up, lift the arms, open the chest, bend your knees, and relax the base of the skull. Inhale for a halfway lift, and relax. All right, so we're going to come into either pigeon pose or reverse pigeon pose, whichever feels good. Let's stretch those outer hips that work so hard for you. So we're going to start with our right leg forward. You can always be on your back. If you're on your back, put your right foot on top of your left knee and grab behind your left thigh. Be mindful to let your back rest and your head rest on the floor. If you're in pigeon pose, set yourself up. I'm using support of a blanket. Maybe you are too. Maybe you're on the floor, whichever feels best. And let's lengthen forward. I like to put a block under my head so that I feel like my head can rest instead of be droopy. Let the base of your skull relax. Once you're in a comfortable place where your knees, your ankles, your hips, your SI joints, and your back are all okay, that nothing's getting overtaxed. See what you can do to feel into the length of the spine and melt into the exhales. Your spine. Let's go ahead and find our way back up. Change sides. So take your time getting comfortable. You might need less or more support on one side versus the other. So make sure your body feels supported. You don't want to hang in this posture. Hug the knees into the pelvis, wide sit bones. Long spine. Once you organize yourself and make sure that all your joints are okay, and you have this spaciousness in your spine and a sense of support under your head, or if you're on your back, resting the back of the head, then give yourself over to the pose. Give yourself over to the breath. find the stability and the ease. So the breath, it has both embedded within it. Find our way. Come around. Pause for a moment. We're going to come onto our back. Bring your knees to your chest and rock. Lift your hips up, drop them over to the right, knees go left. Simple twist, stretching out your body, let it breathe into the twist. Come back to neutral. Hips go over left, knees come up and drop them right. Deep breaths here. Let yourself rest in the twist. Make sure your head feels heavy. Full deep inhales and long exhales. Back up to center. Ask your body if there's anything else it needs. Whatever the answer is, follow. And as you settle and are ready, find your version of Shavasana. So your Shavasana can be on your side. It can be on a bolster on your belly in child's pose. It can be legs up the wall. It can be flat on the ground. It can be with support under your knees. It can be on the ground with your arms and legs spread out wide or your arms and legs close. So take the pathways that your body is asking for. Allow yourself to melt as you get there. So you may not be there yet. You might be doing a posture or two. But when you get there, melt the body. Stira, Sukha, Asanam. Steadfast steadiness, ease and sweetness. These are what our postures are aiming for. This is what our mind is aiming for. Let the brain rest. Let the weight of the back of your head find the earth. Soft jaw. Relax shoulders. Beautiful. As you're ready, begin breathing deeper again. Give yourself to the earth. You can start to move in little bits, maybe starting with your fingers and your toes or turning your head from side to side. Eventually find your way onto your side. Allow your arms to help you, so come up to sit. Take your time. Okay, place the palms together at your heart. Let's center ourselves. Do you feel more grounded? A little more ease in the body and mind? Bring this energy forth to an intention for someone. Send your love and care to another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.